I am working on my 1973 40 Barracuda. Yesterday I pulled out the air vent from the dash, and today's project is to reinforce the crack here from the repair that I did yesterday. I super glued the piece back on and let it set overnight, and since the car is over 50 years old, the plastic's super brittle. So today I'll be showing you some tips and tricks to do the reinforcement of the super glued area. I will be using this thin fiberglass matting as well as some Gorilla Epoxy. My goal is to get the thinnest fiberglass matting I could find. I found this at a local Home Depot. Prep is super important, so I used an 80 grit sandpaper to roughen up the area. This will help it to adhere to the fixative, which is the Gorilla Epoxy. To start off, I pre-cut my pieces for the fiberglass. I'm going to be mixing up my epoxy here. This isn't super fast drying epoxy, so I have a little time to work it. But living in Arizona, the heat is not our friend. I put some tape on the face of the air vent. This way, once I do start applying the epoxy, it doesn't seep through onto the texture that's on the face of it. Starting off here, I'm going to use a thin paintbrush and put a layer of the epoxy on the scuffed application area. Once I've applied enough to this area, I'm going to grab with my brush and dab the small piece of fiberglass. This way I can position it to the location and place that I want it set. Since I'm working on a curved area, you can see that the fiberglass is going to want to push up. So it's important to try and make sure that you work it so it stays in place. This doesn't necessarily mean adding more epoxy. In this case, you can still see the white from the fiberglass. You want it to look more dull. I am now going to repeat the process with the second side and keep working it until I have it set. If there is a portion that's hanging over on the edge, this is easy. You can sand it or trim it before it dries fully. The reason I chose to reinforce the air vent here that was cracked and the piece is missing is because once it's super glued, typically super glue doesn't hold. And over time, this fiberglass and epoxy will be more durable and withstand time. So there you have it. I have done both sides of it. I'll work it a little bit more, and once it dries, I'll remove the tape.